I'm not a boxer, but I'm using this to become a better athlete. As an athlete, you need to learn how to transfer energy from the ground up to your arms to get the power you need. And what better way to practice transferring power from the ground up than boxing? Because you literally need to use your hips to really transfer that power and get that power in that punch. Being able to transfer power from the legs up is also very important. No matter it's basketball or soccer or football or just jumping in general, the ability to transfer energy from the ground up is very important because that's where you're going to get most of your power from. If you're just isolated and only using power from the top, you're not going to get as much, you know, energy and strength. You got to use the power from the ground and be able to transfer it from the ground to your arms to really make it useful. So, what a better way to practice that than boxing? So, here is my journey. Like my main concern is like transferring energy. I'm like too stiff. I'm too stiff. I want to use my foot more. So I'm looking over my video right now and I noticed that my hips weren't really moving and it was stiff, right? So I couldn't really get as much power in my punches. I wasn't letting the power go from my legs through my core to my arms because I wasn't rotating my hips enough and I was just being too stiff. So in the next clip, in the next run, in the next session, I purposely tried to move my hips to make sure it's a lot stronger. And I also noticed like my arms weren't retracting. So any taller opponent could just overhand and just punch me in the face, right? And that is no good. So another thing I just did was I really retracted my hands. Retracted my hands. I didn't let it hang out there. I didn't let it just sit there. I made sure I was transferring my energy and getting out. I needed two things to engage my hips and retract my hands. And that was the two things I worked on. All right, now I'm going to do some combos using the same concept of retracting my hands and using my hips so I can really practice that in a real, combat scenario. All right, that's enough for today. So whether you're trying to become a great boxer or a dunker or a explosive athlete, just remember that all the power comes from the ground. If you're only using your arms, using half the strength and you're leaving half the strength behind, use your whole body, engage your hips, use your legs to really get explosive and transfer all your power to your arms. Don't just isolate your arms. And that was the lesson I learned today. And I really practiced that with boxing. If you guys are on the path from getting from average to explosive, hit that sub button. Let's grow together. I'm on this journey to become the most athletic person I could become. And we could all get there with a lot of hard work. And we're practicing this every single day. Let's get it.